Hey everybody. So we have all this data, and it's in a PDF, which is not ideal if we want to do some data analysis, and we do. So to get you guys started on this task, what I would like you to do is just select your data like this in the PDF, and then hit Control C or copy. Okay, do not copy with formatting if you're using Adobe Acrobat. It's not necessary. Okay, we're then going to go over to a new Excel workbook, a fresh new one. I have some stuff down here, but don't worry about it for right now. You will just use a new workbook. And I'm going to hit paste. Crazy. Okay, now you're going to notice right away that something is not quite right here. And that not quite right thing is that our data has all been pasted into one cell, okay, for each line, and this is not useful. So the way that we are going to fix this is by going to our data tab here. Okay, so you're probably on home to start, and if you go over to data, then you're going to find all this stuff, and some of it is pretty useful, but what we're looking for right now is text to columns. Okay, so go ahead and click that, and then you have a couple of options: delimited and fixed width. We want delimited, and then go ahead and check click next. Okay, the default here is probably for a tab, but that is not useful, so go ahead and uncheck it. And what you want to check is space. And you can see here that there is now a preview of your data as it's going to be after we perform this operation. Okay, you could click next here, but that's actually all we need. So I'm going to click finish. And now all my data is going to be nicely segregated into these cells. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the home button, and just because I like things tidy, I'm going to center everything. And this is now our starting point for data analysis. And I'm going to just put these guys right here, and we'll see why that's useful in a second. Okay, so because I did not want to do your data analysis for you, I've instead picked some other data from your workbook. That's a weird font. Okay, I'm gonna change these fonts. There, Calibri, nice and easy. Okay, you don't have to do this. Don't worry about it. Okay, so here's my data set. Now, the first thing I need to do is get a mean for my entire data set. So I'm going to use Excel formulae to get my mean. And mean, of course, is another word for average. So the first thing I will do is type an equal sign and then average. Okay, and it will bring up this function, which I will then click. See, there it is. And I get these parentheses, and I'm asked then to input numbers. See, it tells you how this works. So what we're going to do is click and drag. When we click and drag, we will select the cells that we want. And then we hit enter, okay? And there's our average right there. Sweet. Now, if we're talking about significant figures, of course, we're going to notice right off the bat that we've got a little problem here. We have too many significant figures for our average than we have in our data set, and it's an issue. But we'll fix it when we summarize our results. Okay, we then look at procedural uncertainty. And for this, remember, we need our maximum value minus our minimum value divided by 2. Well, guess what? We can use another formula for that. And that formula will again start with an equal sign. Okay, so we've got equals. And in this case, we're going to use a couple of sets of parentheses. So I'm going to put this first bit inside parentheses, and then I'm going to type the function that I want. Okay, so here, the function that I want is max. Okay, so see how it's inside parentheses? And then I'm asked to select my data range. So again, I'm going to click and drag down. Okay, and that's going to give me the maximum number from this data set. How cool is that? Okay, see, there it is. Just tells me the maximum right off the bat. I don't have to use my brain at all. Excellent. However, this isn't finished. Our formula is not done. So inside the parentheses, my original set of parentheses, I'm going to add another function, and that function, you may have guessed, is min. And again, I will select the same data set again. And now I have my change between the largest value and the smallest value. However, this is not the end, because you will recall for procedural uncertainty, we need to divide by 2. So the last step in my formula is just a slash and then a 2. And when I hit enter, I now have my procedural uncertainty. Okay, so there it is. Oops. Okay, so then percentage difference. This one's a little bit tricky, and I think for this data set it's particularly tricky because we don't have an accepted value. Remember, for percentage difference, we need an accepted value. So what I'm going to do, I guess, is just quickly analyze the first one. So we'll repeat this process here. So mean is going to be average. This is our function. And I will select our data set. And there it is, 9.79. Okay, so this is what I need for my percentage difference. Okay, so remember that the percentage difference is given by the measured value minus the expected value or established value divided by the expected value. So in this case, the expected value is 9.81, okay? So we set up another formula, and here again, we're going to start with some parentheses. So, okay, so here are my parentheses, and inside my parentheses, I'm going to add my first function. Okay, so here all I need is this value minus 9.81, and then outside of the parentheses we're going to divide by 9.81. Okay, and this is going to give me the percentage difference, but as you can see, this is not a percentage yet. Okay, I have not multiplied by 100. So I have two options here. Multiplying by 100 is probably the easiest option, fastest, and that's going to give me negative 0.2%. And let's not worry about sig figs right now. We're gonna make it easy, and I'm just gonna go say 3 sig figs just for fun. Remember, I would have to find the yeah, 3 is fine for now. Okay, so that's a very small percentage difference, which is nice. Now here's the other thing that makes this really useful. So all of this is pretty time consuming, and you might be thinking, I can just do all this with my calculator. Why would I waste my time? Well, let me show you. I can hit Control C, and Control V, and guess what? All my work is done. Okay, how easy is that? One thing I should point out though, we do need the absolute value here. So there is another function for absolute value I'm going to show you, and this let's do it right here. So absolute value is just ABS, and I'm going to use the parentheses I already had. So this is, yeah, this should be correct. Let's see what it does. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that gets rid of our negative sign that I had down there. Okay, so this is the formula for percentage difference. You need to take a screenshot or pause the video. You should do that. This is the formula for mean. Again, you'll have to select the data set, the correct data set, and that goes here. Okay. Last but not least, we have procedural uncertainty, and the formula for that should look like this, although again, your data range is going to be a bit different. Your data range will probably actually look like this. Okay, when you have finished all of these, again, you can just copy and then paste, and then when data is entered in the cells above, all your work is done super fast. Okay, so it is a really nice way to do things quickly, and you do need to be familiar with this kind of data crunching in the future, particularly next year when you start working on IAs and such. Okay, hopefully this was nothing new for a lot of you. If it is something new, hopefully you like the format of watching a YouTube video. I'm sure